Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back. This will probably be one of my final streams that I'll be doing in terms of crypto. I probably will continue stream, but maybe for important events. I'm planning on maybe changing a couple of things, and I'm gonna have the weekend to decide what I do. If I don't decide anything, I'm just gonna go back to doing what I do normally, which is just streaming. But what I'm planning to do is just make single videos of me talking specifically on one subject. The title of the video will be of that subject. What about the book stuff? Yeah, I will still continue reading them. I will still continue uploading them, just in smaller portions as well, right? I'm not gonna upload full long, I don't know, 2 hour long videos, um, unless it's absolutely worth it. I don't know. I'll go little by little is what I'm planning to do. So it'll be partly, crypto news, all this data, economic stuff, and then maybe also some literature I'll be uploading as well. That's the plan for now. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's the plan. Right now, okay, we've got the crypto market in a bit of a drop, we can see, right? As you can probably tell just by looking at the charts, this whole crypto summit, this whole big volatility day might go 100K possibility. That's all out the window now. Forget about everything. Bitcoin's currently 86,000, and yeah, the optimism that we saw from the morning has kind of faded away. Things were all right in the morning. We got the non-farm payroll data, which came in better than what the market expected. No, it was, how do I explain it? It's good for the market in terms of, yay, we're probably going to get more rate cuts this year. Like the chances of the rate cuts is 3 possible rate cuts this year, and the percentage has increased, right? And then, so that was good. But it's bad for the general US economy, right? It weakens the US dollar. But, if the Bitcoin goes against the USD falls, Bitcoin rises. That's the whole point. That's why we saw a rise at 8, 9 a.m., right? We did reach a high today of 91,000, right? Yep. After that, 10 o'clock, we sort of saw a drop all the way down, seems like, to 86,000 at 11 o'clock. I'm assuming in anticipation for Jerome Powell's speech. Jerome Powell's speech came out. It was fine as well. It happened at 12:30. Market recovered a little bit to 88,900 approximately. And then we were saying, okay, when is this crypto summit going to happen? Everybody, started looking around. Oh, it's at 1:30. We check at 1:30. Oh no, they were just opening the doors at 1:30. It's at the actual conference is at 3 o'clock p.m. We're waiting at like 3 o'clock p.m. Nothing happened. Oh, it's going to be 8 o'clock p.m. now. That's what some people were saying on Twitter, at least. You can't trust everything you see. But then, no, it turns out it was actually like 3:30. That's when it actually started. And it wasn't very long. It was a bit underwhelming for most people, myself included, which I guess that's why we're seeing the sell-off after practically 3 p.m. all the way to where we currently are right now for Bitcoin, 86,000, which is still not bad. The important resistance was this zone right over here where we have this Fibonacci level drawn, right? That is the important support. Further down, I don't think that we'll be dropping anymore. This is supposed to look for resistances, this Fibonacci, but it's clearly not doing that great of a job. Latest resistance was 94,000, but we do know, okay, roughly 85,000 is an important support. We see that over here, broke down over here, but it's fine. We see it bounced off here a couple of times, and of course in recent hours, similar deal. What's going on with my little strategy thing that I got going on? It's going all right. I had to, like, test a lot of it. I don't know if you could see here. Yeah, I've been getting a couple of errors that I've been trying to troubleshoot, or stuff that I've been noticing that is, like, incorrect, right? Yeah, a lot of stuff. Errors and errors, but I think I managed to at least get it to open a trade again, because that function stopped working for whatever reason. I did notice a couple things that was wrong with the way this has been placing orders. The way it's doing is it's not using notional value where you put in a certain amount of USDT and it'll buy that amount, regardless of how much the coin costs, right? It could be, I don't know, 6.8593 Litecoins, for example. I'm just giving you a random number. Or you can do it by amount, which is the global unit for Litecoin. You can buy 1 Litecoin, 2 Litecoins, 3 Litecoins, etc. And depending on the price of whatever a Litecoin is, you would use that amount as your margin, which would give me errors in what I would expect to calculate. But I kind of got to work with it now, because if I try to change it up, it gave me all these kinds of errors. So I kind of went back on all of that and just reverted back to this not notional value, but by amount. It's supposed to be by notional value, but in order for it to work, it only works by amount. I'm pretty sure I can get it to work with notional value, but it's a struggle. I have to find a way to actually get it to work. But now at least it is running. You see, for this whole time, I could not get this strategy up and running, but now it is. This trade that it entered, it's not really satisfying for me, in my opinion here. It decided to do a short entry right over here, approximately. This is what the previous trade looked like. I just didn't change it yet, because I do have to write it down, so I will write it down. It ended up hitting a stop loss immediately. I also entered the trade a little bit late. I also had an issue where it was detecting the wrong candlestick. Like the wrong close price, the wrong exponential moving average data, where it was, you know, reading the trends wrong, I guess, from 2 candlesticks ago, which is too late. So I had all that stuff fixed. Also, the spread is being a little odd. Anyways. Of course, this is where the trade decided to enter around over here. The current trade. So I will draw that. I'm assuming it's at this level. But look at this. Also, I'm noticing like some stuff is still not 100% good. Like the price sometimes gets duplicated because sometimes the API doesn't update. It doesn't gather the API information that fast. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay. So it'll just use the previous candlestick's data, which is not correct. The candlestick before the current one, which is 10 minutes ago. I want it to be 5 minutes ago if I'm using the 5-minute chart. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this chart enters short at this price. Just going to copy and paste exactly what it says, just to see where the levels are at. This take profit is much lower, which I don't think we're going to drop to 96. It's more likely we're going to hit 105 for Litecoin in this instance, but hey, maybe Litecoin will be impacted by the rest of the coins. I only picked Litecoin because it was the only coin in a downtrend during the afternoon compared to the rest. Seems like it's doing the complete opposite of the rest of the coins. It's up 3%, while you got other coins like Sui, Cardano, down 3%. You get the point. So, I mean, it's going to head up again as it's going to hit my stop loss, I assume. The reason it's green is because it has to buy again because it's in a short. A short, you start off by selling and then you end up rebuying cheaper or more expensive. And that's how you would win or lose money, of course. Look at that risk-reward ratio at 2.76. That's obviously not right. It's supposed to be a 3. And even if that was the case, that would make my take profit drop all the way down here. I don't know. I'm blaming the spread, of course, the difference in spread price. Because sometimes it does take a moment, and by that time the price does fluctuate by those seconds that it has to wait for that API data. So that's a bit of a disadvantage, but hey, at least, you know, it's doing this stuff automatically while I'm not paying attention, which, you know, in the long run should be beneficial. And also, I'm pretty sure that this script would be able to execute trades faster than I would be able to calculate where to put the stop loss and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3. Average true range is 53 cents. 104.66 equals 105.88. Yeah, sure. I guess that makes sense. So yeah, unfortunately, this ended at the lowest point. When there's like massive like volatility peak like that, it's not going to be that favorable. It has a high chance of hitting the stop loss because that's where it was. What if I increase this? Oh, that just makes my risk-reward ratio worse. Yeah, I'm just going to have to accept a stop loss here, it seems like. Or maybe I could just cancel this trade manually, but that would go against my rules. I want to ensure that this is doing what I want it to do if I was not supposed to pay attention to this. Hey, don't worry. If we do hit a take profit, which I'm pretty sure we did yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, This is like the code I've been working on. Where is my trading workbook? For perpetual. So yesterday was where I made a take profit there, but it wasn't as much gain. As you can see, it's 2%. It's supposed to be 3% because of fees and all that stuff. This was supposed to be a $23 gain, but it was miscalculating the position size based off of, you know, what do you call it? The notional value not being used, and is just using like by amounts. Like it was buying like each Solana, right? And it was basing my risk off of that, which I do not want, but it's whatever. Okay, anyway, I do have to write down that previous position. So this one's from yesterday, this one's from today. We lost $8.74 today, which that's more than what I expect to risk. If my balance is, what was it, 700 at the time? Yeah, 785. I should lose $7.80. I'm losing $8.74. That's not good. Anyway. So this was in Litecoin LTC. I am about to get another Litecoin trade, so I'll just note this down. 3-7. I don't know when the current trade that is open right now will be closed. Might close today, might close tomorrow, so I will not fill that in. Average open price was 103.06. Close price was 104.37. Man, tough times with this little bot thing. But hey, I'm investing my time into it, and eventually I expect it to do wonders for me. Positive, minus, negative. Hey, at least we had a positive funding fee. No, we didn't. Still overall negative. This one hit a stop loss. I'm assuming this one's about to hit a stop loss. There's your new balance, 776. With real money this time, guys. I think that, like, this whole notional value versus buy amount, that will not be an issue if I put, like, 10 grand in here, for example. Why? Because the amount of Litecoins is so insignificant, and I also probably won't even need... No, I think I'd still have the issue. Yeah, I will. I would still have the issue. No, I wouldn't. It would be more money. More money covers more Litecoins, and you don't have to worry about decimal points in Litecoins. Because this doesn't like to use decimal points. Like, it doesn't like to use .01 Litecoins or something like that. Or, yeah, you get the point. Too much decimal points, it doesn't like. Anyways, Litecoin is just rising like crazy compared to the rest of the coins. Thanks, Litecoin. Especially when I'm deciding to short it. Ethereum is down 1.66%. Probably should have shorted Ethereum anyway. Looks more profitable here. 2,132. It is not rising. Of course, devastating news overall for the crypto market. Okay, we had the crypto summit. That's great. We have a crypto president. But that, like, people should be rejoicing for that, right? But people are just greedy and saying, oh, the US government isn't actually going to be purchasing any more Bitcoins. Well, they will in the future, but, like, they wanted it now. They wanted them to, like, drop billions of dollars today and make Bitcoin pump to 100,000 again. Something crazy like that. I don't know. They were expecting too much. Overhyped is what it was. And I'll admit, I kind of overhyped myself for it. I got my hopes up. We're all kind of let down. Here's my trades yesterday in Solana. Right now, it's down 1.30%. Costs $139. Not bad for DCA. XRP still a little high in my opinion. I like to buy at 220s approximately, or under $2. If you can catch it at that price, 194. That was crazy. What was this? February 28. It's on its way down at the current moment. It is confirmed in a downtrend. So there you go if you do want to short Solana. Not financial advice, but you know. That does look pretty shortable. Would have been over here at least. Honestly though. Like if I had my trading bot running over here, it would have detected... let me just confirm where it would have detected the 3 moving averages down cross, which is on this candle. So at the open of this candle, the longer one is where the trade position would have been opened, or at least it's where it's supposed to be opened. It would detect the high of the last 3 candles, 1, 2, 3. So that's the high. Adding a stop loss of whatever this is, let me whip out a calculator, 0.0138. That's the average true range we see down here. Multiplied by 2, it's that amount. We add that to whatever this highest amount of the stop loss is, which is 2.39. So this plus 2.3913, that's your stop loss. And this is your take profit, whatever these ticks are multiplied by 3. The distance multiplied by 3. There's your risk-reward ratio of 1 to 3. It's not there yet, but it's, I guess, in the right direction, if you know what I'm saying. Reaching 224 seems pretty likely compared to 241. I like that stop loss placement. This is how my strategy is supposed to work. I'm just bad at it, I guess. Like, I'm bad at coding it. It's been too long, but you get the point. Anyway, Cardano, down 3%, price is 82 cents. Short-lived victory for Cardano after pumping a sweet 70% based on the news that it would be part of the crypto reserve, which none of that was mentioned today, by the way. Another reason why it was a big letdown, this whole crypto summit. We were expecting more information on all those other coins. Instead, we got an excuse as to why those coins were added in the first place, which, if I can find it now, I'll show you, but if not, we'll get into it later. Yeah, no, I don't think I could find it. It was basically, what's his name? David Sachs, I think it was. When he was asked to comment on that, he was just saying, oh, you know, they were just there because they're part of the top 10 cryptocurrency assets. Like, that was his explanation for it. Whatever, you do you. Cardano is on the verge of becoming a downtrend if we do break the support at whatever this number is. Please let me read. 0.82 cents with 253 millicents. Good luck for Cardano. If it does make a bounce back, we break 89, we'll be in an uptrend again. Confirmed. Sui has been suffering quite a bit as well. 4.72 here. It is confirmed downtrend. Broke this downtrend over here. I was going to short Sui, actually, earlier today. I just decided not to. I picked Litecoin for whatever reason. But yeah, both would have been good options anyway. I mean, Litecoin does cost more. Sui is a little cheaper. I probably would have been able to fix this whole margin issue. But also I had a lot of coding errors to resolve. So that was another reason why I couldn't. Yep, uptrend is broken. We're just expecting a drop until wherever we drop, I guess. First resistance we met was at $3. This is perfect price action, by the way. I like it. Well, I don't like where it is, but like this whole price action thing, it's working out excellently. Right? Where can we see a stop? At 253 approximately. So far it can drop. If it breaks that, of course, we're dropping to 241. And from there, I don't think we're dropping any further. What's the point of dropping further? I think 253, no lower than 253. Like overnight, we can see some just low volatility, a little price decay, to say the least. And yeah, 253, I don't think we're dropping less than that, unless we get some crazy fundamental. So good idea for stop loss. You want to put that below that if you plan on entering long, although it's not recommended you do that. Enter a long position under a short, not a short, but like a downtrend, right? I don't know, if you want to be risky and do something like this, could work out. I think it will slow down. Something like that. You can make some sweet profit. If this does play out, of course. Nobody knows. We're all just guessing in this whole crypto market. There's no such thing as technical analysis. So let's talk about facts. Let's talk about some news, things that do have an impact on the market. We had the non-farm payroll data today. So the amount of jobs, 151,000. We were expecting 160,000 jobs. So it came in less than expected, meaning that the economy is not adding more jobs. You know, it's suspicious, though. Okay, well, first of all, okay, before I get into the suspicious conspiracy theory territory stuff, the 151,000 jobs being created when we were expecting 160, you can't blame that on Trump. He's just getting started. That's what most people are saying. What you can blame here is Joe Biden's administration faking numbers practically. Last month's non-farm payroll data, I guess, for the month of January, which is, January was when Biden is technically still in office until January 20, Inauguration Day, when Trump took office. They mentioned there was 143,000 jobs reported, but they revised that and said, nope, we lied. It was actually 125,000. So compare that, 125,000 jobs added in January, to 151,000 jobs added in February. Less days, Trump just getting started, already doing better than Biden in that case. It's not like, I mean, he was still doing better, I guess, from 143K, but still 125K. They lied. They said it was 143K. It was 125K. So that data got revised. If this happens continually, I don't think it'll be good for the markets. They will start lacking trust. Unemployment rates fell. Well, it rose, I guess. More people unemployed is what it means. 4.1%. They were expecting 4%. It was also previously 4%. So unemployment slightly increased. Bad for the economy. Weakens US dollar. That's good for crypto, though, right? Weak US dollar. Bitcoin takes advantage of that and rises due to that. You'll see that's why at 8 o'clock we had an increase in the price. 9 o'clock. It was good data, right? Average earnings year over year, actual 4%. It was below expectations as well. The data was absolutely fine. Unemployment rate was above expectations. Non-farm payroll below expectation. Swap traders still pricing in 75 basis point of easing this year from the Fed. 75 basis point means 3 rate cuts of 25 basis points. So, yeah, we're still expecting that, which is good. Supportive of more accommodative Fed, and it will be interesting to hear what Powell has to say. We already know what Powell said, so we'll get into that in a moment. Given recent headlines with tariffs, though, markets remain incredibly uneased. Instead of rallying based on a potentially more accommodative Fed, they sell off based on recession worries, which that's out of the game, out of the ballpark, in my opinion. I don't think you should be worrying about that. Right now, it's sort of like bad news is bad news. Typical price action when the volatility index is above 20, markets take any opportunity to sell off despite the longer term implications of this data being positive, which is true. This is technically good stuff for crypto markets. But people are just scared with this short term, tariffs and recession. No, it's not going to happen. Inflation, not going to happen either. If we're seeing rate cuts, 75 basis point rate cut, that means inflation is going to come down. We're expecting that. I don't think that's necessarily priced in just yet, because people are pricing in other stuff, which, seems to be overshadowing what the rest of what the positive outlook is supposed to be, right? Then it starts talking about technical analysis that we do not use and we do not care about. Not bearish, but open to the idea of markets continuing its chop for first half of March. I can agree with that. Especially with this first week being completely volatile. We've seen a lot this week. All right. That's all we had to see for that. Here's basically what Fed Chair Powell had to say. He said that recent data show possible slowdown in consumer spending. What do you do to boost consumer spending? Well, you drop interest rates. You provide stimulus to the economy, etc. He's saying that the job market is solid, broadly balanced. Sure, we didn't get too much of a difference there. Progress in reducing inflation has been broad-based, is what he says. He's expecting the path to 2% inflation will continue to be bumpy. Okay. Because of the tariffs and all that kind of stuff, it kind of makes sense. Okay, these are supposed to cause inflation, these tariffs, but in the long run, we know how much it will benefit the US economy, and overall, inflation will be taken care of itself by other stuff, right? Companies paying their taxes, I guess. Uncertainty around Trump administration policies and their economic effects remain high. That's one of the reasons why we're still seeing some choppiness. Some near-term survey and market measures of inflation expectations have moved up, driven by tariffs, of course. And also, we mentioned that the U.S. Central Bank does not need to be in a hurry to adjust interest rates. So he's not in a rush, but that's what the market currently sees. 3 possible rate cuts. That's all we have to say about that. They also mentioned that they're going to put a lot of thought into... Okay, this is for the crypto summit. I messed up the news, right? Why did this one show up first? Sorry. So, Chris, Crypto.com says it was an honor to join real Donald Trump and David Sachs for the first White House Digital Assets Summit to discuss the future of the industry. You can see it was only 25 minutes long, so it left much to desire here. But hey, we had a lot of important people. Howard Lutnick, I forget your name. David Sachs, I think, no, I messed it up. No, this is David Sachs. You can see this guy's name here. Scott Bessent. Bo Heiners, something is there. And then beside him was Michael Saylor and... Will we ever see? Oh, my internet's loading. I want to see everybody. Brian Armstrong right there. Some lady, I don't know her name. This is the World Cup, by the way, the FIFA World Cup that is going to be hosted in the United States. That's what the World Cup is going to look like. Some more dudes over here. Michael Saylor is behind, right over here. My quality dropping, nice. And then on the other side, like over here, we had Chainlink co-founder as well. Those are the only people I kind of recognized. I guess the rest of the people like Chris and all these other CEOs, even CZ was supposed to be there, I think, are probably sitting behind. This is like a big round, well, not round, but square table format, right? And MSNBC, I think, who was filming this, only showed this half of it. So that's all we got to saw. Not much was discussed. It was all just like, oh, thank you, this is going to be great. Promises are being kept, and stable coins. We're going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime, and as President Trump directed, we are going to keep the US the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that, says Scott Bessent. Which is great. People are bullish on stablecoins now. USDT is going to be $5. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Oh, this is what I wanted to mention. David Sachs, when he was asked about these other coins, ADA, Sol, XRP, they were only mentioned because they're in the top 5 cryptocurrencies by market cap. That's the only reason why they were included in this little crypto reserve kind of thing. But ultimately nothing came of it, and that's why we're getting a little bit of a market sell-off just for today. And of course, it is on a Friday, and it was a letdown, and we're going to a weekend. Saturday is going to be a low volatility day. I forgot to mention that, especially for SUI. I definitely agree that we're going to drop to 253 now for SUI. 259 currently, 255 lowest. There's a SUI price analysis. Michael Saylor, though, did provide, I guess, a document or something in terms of a way to accumulate Bitcoin, I guess. He wants the White House to acquire 5 to 25% of all Bitcoin before 2035. That's his little financial advice. 2035, when 99% of all Bitcoin will have been issued, US would have power over 5 to 25% of that. You know what else they mentioned? If I can find it. This is a rumor as well. There's rumors circulating that Ripple will be giving 45% of its XRP supply to the US government to secure access. I don't think we have a source for this. There's no credible source. So it's just a rumor, right? But what would that mean for Ripple? Could it be a good thing? Could also be a little bit of a bad thing. First of all, 45% of it is going to US government. Okay, what are they going to do? They're not going to sell if it's in a reserve. That's already confirmed. Trump said he's not going to sell Bitcoin. He kind of made it like a little joke toward Michael Saylor, I think, when he said, never sell your Bitcoin, eh? And then he looked over. Anyways, it was a little awkward for Michael Saylor. He didn't say anything either at the Crypto Summit, which was a bit of a letdown. We were expecting him to talk some sense into these federal officials, right? But no, nothing much came of it. Okay, so Ripple giving up 45%. If this were to be true, it's not true, but if it was to be true, you're taking out 45% of the supply, which, you know, that would make it a more scarce asset, less Ripples in circulation. Ripple does have a maximum amount for circulation, right? It's kind of like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has 21 million. Ripple has, don't make me guess the number. I'm going to look it up now. Max supply. Where is that? And, oh, I clicked on Tether. What? I clicked on Ripple. 100 billion. XRPs, and there's currently 99.98 billion total supply at the moment. How much is circulating though? Does it tell me here? I don't think it tells me here how much Ripple is circulating. Oh, it is 58 billion. So 45% of this 58 billion will be locked up in the United States Reserve, if that were to be the case. That does also mean, though, that the United States now has... It's going to be a bit more centralized XRP project, because they will have more custody of all that. Which I don't know if I agree with. It's supposed to be a decentralized network anyway. So there you go. Will the US government buy more Bitcoin? Only if it is budget neutral is what they ended up saying. A few methods that they could do that is by using funds from Exchange Stabilization Fund controlled by the Treasury, which totals over $200 billion in foreign currencies. The way I understand this is maybe like short arbitrage. I don't know if I'll have the time to basically explain this, but does it even show us here? Funding countdown, funding rates, view funding rate history. Okay, it does show me. So, oh boy, I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. This percentage you're seeing over here, this is for Bitcoin, okay? You can choose any coin, but I think they're going to do it with Bitcoin mainly, so we'll use this as an example. Let's just say in every 8 hours for futures market, you will be charged, if you're in a long position, this percentage of whatever position you have in the market, right? If the government has $200 billion total based off of foreign currencies, that means 100 billion will be allocated into the futures market, 100 billion into the spot market. Why are they doing that? Spot market, you can only go long, right? There's no such thing as short positions in spot market. Spot market means you just buy Bitcoin as is, as if you're just going and you're paying for whatever Bitcoin's price is and you own that Bitcoin, okay? In the futures market, you're putting another $100 billion, but you're not going long on it. You're going short at 1x leverage, meaning that it's the same kind of deal, but you make money when Bitcoin drops. And it's a one-to-one kind of deal. In the spot market, you make money when Bitcoin rises, but in the futures market, you're making money when Bitcoin drops. And since it's a one-to-one ratio at that point, 100 billion and 100 billion, they would cancel out their movements. And, you know, if you sell both at the same time, you make $0. Why would you want to do that? Well, in the futures market, if you're shorting instead of longing, and the percentage is positive here, the people that are in long positions will have to pay you the funding rate. And you'll get this negative commission on your account. And you're getting this little percentage from $100 billion every 8 hours. It can change, though. Keep that in mind. Sometimes funding rates have been negative, where shorters would have to pay people that are longing. If, you know, we're in a bearish market, like a very bearish market, that does happen. That scenario has played out. We saw that happen in August last year when Bitcoin was like almost 50,000, right? So, yeah, it can happen, but majority of the time, oh, look, you can see that right here, negative percentage, right? So, okay, 1 out of however many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's just say 25 funding rates, 1 out of 25, you will be paying that back, but that's nothing, right? Compared to the amount that you're receiving as time passes every 8 hours, 8:16 o'clock, right? You will be paid this percentage. And when you close your position, you just keep all that commission, I guess, that funding that people who were in long are paying you for being short on Bitcoin. I could do the calculation here. With $100 billion, that's 1,000, it's million, that's billion. I probably should have... Okay, I'm going to cut that. Calculate the percentage on average per day. We'll just calculate these three. Like 0.0079%. Hold on, if it's percent, then you have to add 2 more decimals. 0079. Just to make it easier, I don't want to use percentages, I'll use decimal points. Plus 0. First of all, you add 2 zeros. 0098 plus 0.00, add another 2 zeros, 98. Okay, you're earning this every 24 hours. I'm going to give you a yearly value for this, okay? That percentage from 100,000 million billion times that, you're making, is this real? $27,500,000 per day? Okay, per day. How many days do we have in a year? 365? I'm sure I messed up my math somewhere here. This can't be right. 10 million? No, 10 billion. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you're getting like a 10% rate of return on $100 billion, which is $10 billion. 10% rate of return. Am I right? 100,000 million billion. Yeah, you're getting a 10% rate of return annually, which you can make that kind of money in the stock market with fund managers, right? They usually try to outcompete the S&P 500, which would return you on average 7% to 20% on a good year, or sometimes negative percent. Here, though, you can make money using that kind of arbitrage strategy, which, hey, if I had a lot of money, I would probably do that because with an exchange I actually, like, 100% trust holding, I don't know, $100 billion in, right? And then, of course, when you sell, you're not going to pay any funding fees, which funding fees are charged based off of time. You would only pay the, the buying and the sell fee, the maker and taker fee, I guess, which it is a little percentage, but it's not that crazy, right? You're making $10 billion in a year anyway. What's paying even $1 million? Who cares, right? If that was what the fees were. But hey, man, like, crazy strategies like that can be done. And it's something that I'm assuming, I kind of went way into detail with that. But yeah, something that can absolutely be proposed, right, to the US government if they have an exchange that they would trust putting $100 billion in, sure, go for it. Also, though, like, that means that they would have to buy, I mean, it would kind of cancel out, though. They're buying $100 billion in Bitcoin, and they're also shorting $100 billion in Bitcoin. I don't even know. They could also sell some of their actual gold reserves to buy Bitcoin, because they know that Bitcoin is the digital gold. Even Peter Schiff has admitted it at this point. Howard Lutnick hinted that the US could monetize the asset side of the US balance sheet. They will not sell this the same way that they're not selling their physical gold. They will not sell their digital gold, which that's the point of the reserve, right? That's pretty good. Sovereign Wealth Fund, funded by tariff revenues that could buy Bitcoin. That's a good idea. Special visa that would allow wealthy foreigners to invest in the Bitcoin reserve and receive residency, call it an orange card. That's pretty interesting. Tax declaration scheme whereby tax evaders could have a limited time to declare unpaid crypto taxes. Pay up some crypto and we forgive you. Interesting. Or using excess energy to mine Bitcoin and allocating it to the reserve. Kind of like what El Salvador is doing. They have volcanic energy, man. That's a crazy way to mine Bitcoin. Yeah, these are great ideas of ways to accumulate Bitcoin by staying budget neutral, right? Not wasting taxpayer money to purchase Bitcoin. That's what the US does not want to do, and that's what made people a little upset. Which I will, at least like the greedy people in the crypto market, not necessarily the average Joe who doesn't even know what a Bitcoin is. So I'm pretty sure they didn't really care that much. But I did want to talk about this as well. The taxes, that was not mentioned, unfortunately, at the crypto summit. Another letdown, another reason why we're seeing this drop. We were expecting like, oh, no taxes on capital gains if you hold Bitcoin for over a year. No, apparently that was just a big rumor and nothing came of it. So that's why you should always take all of those rumors with a grain of salt. You never know if it's true information, authentic, or if it's all just a rumor to try to make you bullish and force you to pump something like this. But anyway, you get the point. Now is still a great time to accumulate. Under 100,000 was what I was hoping to accumulate for, and this is a gift, man. Being at 86,000, I'm accumulating like crazy. So yeah, that's my little piece of advice for you guys. Here's something. The Office of the Comptroller of Currency has just declared that national banks are now allowed to custody crypto assets. Banks can buy altcoins now. There you go. So, banks, of course, we know they got a lot of money. I'd like to see some of that liquidity flowing into the altcoins. Alt season soon, possibly. Gives a green light for that. MSNBC, by the way, who one of the hosts of the live stream of that crypto summit, later on gave their comments on it. She calls crypto a deeply old-fashioned, simple scam while discussing Trump's Bitcoin executive order. Of course, not even the libs like what Trump is doing with this whole Bitcoin stuff. And of course, the crypto bros, it was good. Everything is fine. Bitcoin reserve, a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it's official, it's good. It just got too greedy and a little disappointed with all the rumors that we were expecting. We were overpromised but underdelivered kind of deal. But it's still a good delivery, regardless of how you take it. You're just being greedy. Accept it. It's gonna be fine, right? Everything. It's all gonna be up from here. Like, we have a long year ahead. 2025 is gonna explode crypto, in my opinion. Anyway, Sam Bankman-Fried. This is him in prison right now. He had an interview with Tucker Carlson, which I watched. Apparently the interview, though, was conducted without approval from the jail cell. Then how did he get into a laptop or a phone to get on this little podcast? Anyways, he got moved to solitary confinement for giving an interview with Tucker Carlson. That's pretty hilarious. And he did talk about him sharing a cell with P. Diddy. Said that P. Diddy, oh, he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's all good. They're saying that they're using bananas and muffins as their currency now that he can't use cryptocurrency. A man from a crypto digital world now having to go resort to old-fashioned methods of payments between his cellmates, right? Yeah, it's pretty funny. What else came of that interview, if I had to remember? He's now pro-Republican instead of pro-Democrat. If you guys recall, back in 2020, Sam Bankman-Fried's company, FTX, was a big donor to the Democrats, right? Well, now apparently he's changed his view. He's went against Gary Gensler. Yeah. He says that he's been reading a lot of books, kind of reflecting on what's been happening. Kind of lost track of time. Today's his birth. No, yesterday was his. No, today. Today's his birthday, I think is what he said. Don't remember. Anyways, he's going to be in there. If they reduce his sentence, he's probably going to be in there till his late 40s. But if not, then he'll be there till his late 50s. He's currently 33, I think. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. There you go. Little update from Sam Bankman-Fried and P. Diddy. I don't remember if I talked about this, but Sui is likely getting an ETF registered in Delaware from Canary. The SEC also acknowledges filing for Grayscale's spot Polkadot ETF. I don't know why the heck they would want that. Rip Polkadot, you're getting sold by Grayscale. And Canary, again, being acknowledged by the SEC to file an H-bar ETF. We saw this in Canada. We're getting it in the United States now with a SEC. That's pretty decent. What is going on here? Whatever. So cool. We're getting some ETF announcements. Has H-bar been affected or Polkadot? I wonder. H-bar. Nope. And Polkadot. Nope. Overshadowed too much by just... We're getting a lot of good news. You can't even lie anymore. We're getting so much good news. But it's just being overshadowed, of course, by all these tariff stuff and people caring too much about tariffs, I guess. If you're wondering why people are adding Grok this time, apparently you can do that now. You can add Grok and it will reply to your tweet with context on the above tweet or answering any question about whatever you have about this, right? For instance, the NASDAQ, they're saying that they plan to introduce 24-hour trading by the second half of 2026. That's pretty good news. Or is it? I don't know. 24-hour available stock market. It's going to kind of steal the thunder of crypto. That's what crypto is known for, as being 24/7. No other asset class is 24/7, right? They all have closing times. Forex closes on Saturdays and also closes in the evenings for like 1 or 2 hours. The stock market only from 9:30 till 4. The rest of the time it's closed. And then commodities, similar deal to what Forex does. ETFs, similar deal to what stocks do. Indices, I don't know. I don't remember what indices are. Like, I know what they are, but like what their schedules are. Pretty sure it's similar to Forex or something. It has its pros and cons. It could boost global access and liquidity, but the risks also include higher volatility, lower volume costs outside regular hours, per sec warnings, so investors should weigh these factors carefully. Ultimately, the response from Grok, right? Grok is a very powerful AI now. I will admit it. It's better than ChatGPT, it's better than Claude. There you go. There's my endorsement for Grok. Not sponsored. Let's talk about some Canada news as well. Justin Trudeau, who is supposed to not be our prime minister anymore, is doing prime minister things where the Liberal Party in general added 200 new firearms to the prohibited list effective immediately, even though the list of banned firearms was not immediately made available. So if you own a firearm and you're a law-abiding Canadian, you will be forced to sell it in the spring. Congratulations. Do I believe in Second Amendment rights? I know we're in Canada, and that's a US thing. But yeah, I think you should be allowed to own a gun. Especially if you live in, like, rural areas, not in, no. But, yeah, rural areas. What is rural? Is rural. And I'm confusing it with urban. Yeah, rural is like farmlands or plains, right? Urban is like big cities. Why would you want to have a gun in a huge city? You have cops already with guns. They're fine. But of course, when you don't have enough emergency response teams to come rescue you right away, then yeah, you should have an ability to defend yourself. Even if it's not from like people, it could just be from, I don't know, big scary animals or skinwalkers, whatever is out there in the wild. Rachel Ben Dayan, never heard of this woman before, but she stresses the need for strict gun control to prevent firearms from endangering Canadian communities. I think we should only give it to actual citizens, by the way. She claims the government's gun bans have contributed to a drop in firearm-related violence nationwide. I don't think so. It's a certain group of people that do it, not necessarily everyone. Anyway. I talked about this yesterday about Alberta considering joining the United States to be the 51st states. Only Alberta, though, not the whole country of Canada. So this little speck of land right over here to be the 51st state of the United States. It's going to be a goofy shape with this, this little border line over here. And it's not official, by the way. It's not actual government officials. But it is this, apparently I think this guy is a lawyer, and he's got a Canadian lawyer. And he's got a movement of people who are willing to sign and join that. And I've heard that they are having some discussions at the White House, or at Washington. Canadian delegation from Alberta is headed to Washington to discuss statehood. Now, the delegation in question is just that voluntary group of private individuals led by that Canadian lawyer. His name is Jeffrey Rath, according to this community note. It has no official affiliation with the government of Alberta, does not purport to represent the population of Alberta. But I do support it. It would be pretty cool to see us lose a province for the betterment of that province, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I wish just Canada just became the United States at this point. Like, the economy is way too bad. If we join the United States, we'll have the good military protection. We will have First and Second Amendment rights. We will have Donald Trump as a president. Like, come on, that's pretty good. And I'm missing one point. I forget it for now. After President Trump called out Trudeau for trying to use the tariffs fight to stay in power, Governor Trudeau has announced that this is his last public appearance as Prime Minister. Yeah, there we go. Finally, he's stopping these appearances that we begged him for. Like, stop appearing. You're not our prime minister anymore. You resigned back in January. Why are you still here? Call an election. You know who doesn't want to call an election? Well, Jagmeet Singh. I don't know if I have. Yeah, I do have it. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. Now he's saying, apart from the tariff stuff, that he will not trigger a non-confidence vote until the government passes support for workers affected by the U.S. tariffs. Man, I just hope it was, I forget what the leaked date was, April 28, I think. I hope that is the election day. We got this all over with. Don't want to wait until October. Justin Trudeau, though, he did fire back and say that Trump is wrong about him wanting to stay in power and that he will resign next week to be replaced by the next Liberal Party leader, whether that is Chrystia Freeland or Mark Carney or Melanie Joly, I think her name is. I don't know. We don't know yet who the next leader is going to be, but it's likely Chrystia Freeland, who was the deputy prime minister, which is, I guess, like the vice president equivalent, who also stepped down first before Trudeau did. The finance minister, Mark Carney, also stepped down before Trudeau did. After his party kind of abandoned him, then he decided to announce his resignation back in January. But they're all three of them are still there and discussing, as you can see from this practically, right? They're all here. Well, this is Melanie Joly, but I don't know. Whoops. Yeah, you got the point. Apparently also, did you know Canada does have a 250% tariff on the United States already? This is from like way before Trump exposed Canadians for that. He says that there's a dairy tariff that Canada has on the United States, and it's restrictions on U.S. lumber as well. He is vowing reciprocal tariffs as early as Monday. So there you go. Tariffs will continue in some form. And reciprocal tariffs, by the way, which when he did sign, Donald Trump already signed an agreement into law. What do you call it? An EO. I forget what EO stands for. I really forget. Wow. But he's saying he signed something that said whatever country imposes some tariff on us, we will do that same reciprocal tariff with that same percentage on them, meaning that these new tariffs, I guess, that are being reciprocated back onto Canada that are starting Monday will be of 250%, probably. He's also said that it's been very difficult to deal with Canada's representatives. I blame Doug Ford at this point. Doug Ford has been very stubborn in, like, really being into this trade war, trying to appear a little tough, I guess. And saying that he'll continue forward with his retaliatory tariffs, regardless if the United States cancels their tariffs, which they did yesterday, but now it seems like this is probably going to resume. This is an interesting question. How do dairy tariffs work? And is it 250% on all tariffs or just after a certain threshold is met? And how often has that happened? So Canada's dairy tariffs are part of its supply management system, protecting farmers with quotas and price supports. 250% tariff applies to U.S. dairy imports, exceeding the USMCA duty-free quotas, which has happened frequently, causing trade disputes. U.S. challenges to Canada's quota allocation have been ongoing. Yeah, it was also under USMCA, the reason why Donald Trump paused the tariffs, but it seems like, hey, he doesn't care. Like, well, Canada still had some tariffs, some secret tariffs going on, and now he's like, oh, I found something, haha, I'm gonna charge you back. So, there you go. China, on top of that, will also be putting 100% tariffs on select Canadian imports, just to double down, just to add insult to injury. Yeah, it's so over. It has to do, apparently, Grok is blaming it on trade tensions triggered by Canada's alignment with US policies, which we're in a trade war. What are they talking about? Including recent Trump-era tariffs on Chinese goods. Historical disputes like 2019 canola trade conflict show a pattern of retaliation. So this has to do with 2019 stuff and economic issues, including human rights concerns. What human rights concerns? Well, the wokeness, maybe. Hudson's Bay is filing for bankruptcy. Could file for bankruptcy soon. Sad to see them go. I see this at every mall, so yeah, part of my childhood. I don't know. Every time I visited a mall, I've seen that company there. But I've seen like other companies like Hudson's Bay, like Sears, Zellers. Those have also been bankrupt and they're gone, never to be seen again. Talk about Ukraine here. U.S. President Trump issues final warning to Ukraine saying that, hey, listen, Zelensky, if you don't want to settle, we're going to leave. We're out of there because we want them to settle, right? We need a peace deal to happen. He also put pressure on Hamas, trying to get these ceasefire deals or peace talks going as fast as possible. He's also even pressuring Russia at this point. He released a post on Truth Social threatening Russia with extensive sanctions and tariffs until a peace agreement is reached with Ukraine. He says that based on the fact that Russia's absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions, and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. To Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it's too late. Thank you. Wow. Passive aggressive. I did want to talk about this specifically because of another comment that Trump made regarding Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin, if you don't know, is the police officer who had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder, neck. I don't know. I can't breathe is what George Floyd said, but apparently he also said that before being put down on the floor and handcuffed by that police officer. Anyways, Derek Chauvin was blamed for the death of George Floyd, the political figure at this point for the Black Lives Matter community, right? Apparently it was because of fentanyl. Did you know that he overdosed? Chauvin was a political prisoner, the police officer, so pardoning him could be the right thing to do, but Trump says that he is not considering pardoning Derek Chauvin. George Floyd was a career criminal and overdosed on fentanyl. Trump should pardon Chauvin immediately, whatever. The reason why this has come into question is because of comments from Ben Shapiro. He said that the Derek Chauvin conviction represents the defining achievement of the woke movement in American politics, like I said, from the Black Lives Matter. The country cannot turn the page on that dark, divisive, and racist era without righting this terrible wrong. So he's asking to he's calling to pardon Derek, which even Elon Musk has agreed. I don't know if I can find it. He basically made a quote retweet on this and said, yeah, this makes sense. So will that happen? According to Trump, no. So I guess it ends there, right? South Africa will also be banning Starlink because they hate Elon Musk, because Elon Musk isn't black. Apparently South Africa is just being really racist right now. They're being very pro, what do you call it? Black power? What's the opposite of white power? White supremacy, black supremacy. They're really like kicking the white people out of South Africa, it seems like. So, yeah. The government has called Elon's unprogressive views were a key factor in the decision to prevent Starlink from operating in this country. Hey man, they're lost. They're losing on satellite internet, I guess. Cool. And did you know Kamala Harris, I mentioned yesterday that Gavin Newsom, who is the current governor of California, would likely be running for president in 2028, trying to become like a little mediator between the left party, right? And Kamala Harris seems like will be replacing, I guess, Gavin Newsom for governor of California. So it's either governor or president in 2028. I hope it's just governor. I don't need her president. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's it. That's all the news I have for today. 85,000 Bitcoin. We're dropping still. How is my Litecoin trade doing? I hope it's not rising. What do we see here? Okay, still negative territory, but kind of dropping. Yeah, I'm seeing the curve drop a little bit over here. I do not like all these consecutive green candles. These are just random pumps on Litecoin. What is going on? But to expect a drop to 96, I don't know. We're going to need some bad fundamentals. We're going to drop that hard over here. What happened here? 6th of March last night? We dropped to a low of 97. What time? 7 o'clock? What even happened yesterday, 7 o'clock? I don't remember. Nothing important. So yeah, this trade's still open. I'll see if it manages to... Oh, is this why my risk reward ratio was off? Oh, it is. That was why it was off. Okay, never mind. I do have a risk reward ratio of 1 to 3. There you go. I could even drop it then. Possibly. To 96.61 compared to 52. That's just a couple pennies. I don't think it'll be too impactful if I let it ride. But yeah, there you go. So I'll let my little trading strategy continue running for the rest of the night. Any fixes that I would have to do, I did add one little interesting thing, is like a little prompt over here. This is like the first trade that was opened, by the way. Here's like a little prompt. If you open it, it'll say enter a cryptocurrency symbol. You can just put any symbol now, right? So I don't have to like manually change it into code, right? Because that was annoying finding that code line to change it every time. Now I could just, I made a prompt to, you input anything. You could even input it in a lowercase. And it fact checks, not fact checks, but it validates the prompt that you input, right? If you put like a random number or symbol that doesn't exist, first it checks on CoinGecko, which is like CoinMarketCap, to see if that crypto symbol exists. If it doesn't, it'll tell you, no, it doesn't exist, try again, because you can make a typo, and you don't want this to run on a random asset, right? Because you're actually going to be using real money on this prompt. So yeah, it checks that, it confirms that it exists, and then it runs it for you. I cleared the clutter over here. I do want to add a couple stuff, though, like this line right in between these two lines, right? Just to see what are we dealing with, right? And of course, the prices do need a fix as well. Sometimes they're duplicating the same thing, like here. That's not right. It's probably because of the delays in the API. That's all. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Alright. That's all for today's stream then, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, it could be the last one that I'll do. I'll probably switch to more video formats, more shorter form content, more focusing on one subject. And yeah, I don't know if that'll take too much of a mental toll on me, though, because I'll probably have to edit the videos. But it'll be higher quality, I guess, and quality is probably better than quantity. Or I will be uploading a lot of quality and quantity. I don't even know. I'll see what happens.